Okay, great. Well, welcome to Red Carpet of Hollywood. I'm your host, Marina Kufa, with a very special guest today, Danny Arroyo, who is actor, director, and producer. Let's talk about this really amazing show that is coming up.
Obviously, we're talking about Sangre Negra here because I see you have
yes.
a poster back there, which is very cool. I see Ariana there. I see Eric Estrada. I see Antonio McKay. I see
not to cover anybody.
Ricardo. No, it's okay. I see Ricardo Herranz. Such a great cast, such a wonderful crew, talented, giving, nurturing, dedicated. I mean, it's been great. We have 4 episodes out right now as of our interview here on Tubi, which you can watch for free, which is really great. And we have 2 more coming up. So we're hoping for like a 6-episode season 1. And we've gotten some really great feedback. People seem to really love it. They keep asking us, what's coming next? What happens next? What happens next in the storyline? And we're like, you got to keep watching. We can't tell you that, but
yeah, don't spoil it.
No, we would never do that. But it's been some of my best memories working with this cast and crew. They're just amazing. And I think that's something I value very much about doing this profession. It's the camaraderie, much like a sports athlete, you know. I mean, when they say that they retire, they always say they're going to miss the camaraderie of the guys in the room, the girls in the room, and just the jokes and the laughing and the creativity. That's what I love about working on something this long. I've developed long-term friendships with people that I've not worked with for years. We've been creating, and it has become like a family. So I love that. Working on the film, you may have 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. You develop a friendship, but then after that, sometimes you never see them again, or you talk to them very not as often, you know. But
then maybe you do a movie with them 10 years later, right?
Yeah, and then we'll go, hey, and I've done that. Oh wow, we haven't worked together in 7, 8 years, 9 years. My God, how you doing? But with Sangre Negra, we've been together so long now. It's, you know, it's very family orientated. And
I've read a lot of comments, and people are excited to see us. So
people are very excited. We're excited about trying to put together a season 2.
So tell me, who is the writer? Who is behind the scenes?
The writer is the guy behind you in the sunglasses. For people who are looking at it, his name is Antonio McKay. He's the writer. Very talented. Yeah, right there. That guy
right here.
That one right there.
Right here.
He plays Pretty Ricky Santos, who is the gangster of the family, and the guy to my right, your camera left over here, Ricardo Herranz, he plays the defense attorney. So when that's he played, and then me, the guy on the far left over here, you're right, with the gun in hand.
Right there.
Yeah. I'm the detective. Yeah. I'm the detective who Pretty Ricky likes to make fun of and say Captain America mentality. I arrest my brother because we don't get along. I really don't like him, and he does some bad stuff, so I arrest him.
¿Cómo está?
I'm doing great. Recognize this?
Yeah, you got a big date tonight?
Oh, Francesca loves when I use this on her. Angela DeLuca. Sound familiar?
What about her?
We just pulled her body out of a swimming pool.
What?
You're under arrest for murder.
You gotta be kidding.
Does it look like I'm kidding you?
You're making a mistake as usual, Kristen.
Uh-huh. I hear they like to call you pretty. They like pretty people in prison. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
And then he hires our brother to defend him. So there's a whole dynamic going on here. And then
I see here that the arresting officer is a Mr. Christian Santos. Would you identify yourself, Mr. Santos?
Yes, I'm here, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Santos. You may be seated. Counselor, this is your brother, is he not?
Yes, he is.
And the defendant is your brother as well?
Yes.
on here. And then the woman that's standing next to me, Ariana Gomez, she's my fiance, but she used to date Antonio, who's pretty Ricky, and they have a baby together. So,
Mommy, look, Daddy's on TV.
Oh my God, Ricky, what have you done now?
so we're talking your typical normal
Soap
LA
opera.
family. Yeah, typical LA family. It happens all over. So it's a lot of fun, and that dynamic, and that it's just, we don't know where things are going, and it just, we have some great laughs about this whole thing that's happening.
It has the spice twist to it. Yes, I saw it. I saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
And the mafia, it's pretty well put together. I mean, those guys look scary.
Yeah, yeah, they are, and they're the best guys to hang with, because they're nothing like that in real life. We go out and we hang out, with party before COVID, before having to put the mask on, when everything was normal. Hanging out with them was a blast.
How are you planning to shoot now, since everything has changed due to
Well,
COVID?
we've been fortunate to we have 8 episodes in the can. We have released 4. We have 2 more that are finished that we're just waiting to release, and we have 2 more that are still editing. So when COVID kind of hit, it
Yeah.
affected everybody. No one could film. I mean, now people are filming. Now things are a little more looser, but yet people are still having to test. You still have to wear a mask, which is important. But early last year, for the first 6 months, there was no filming. There was nothing.
Nothing.
So we were fortunate that we could sit down and just edit the footage and just work with what we have, figure out if we have any scenes we need to pick up or whatever. So, but we have 6 in the can that we know for sure we're going to release the next 2. So we're good with that. And we don't know when we'll get back to filming, hopefully soon. Again, everything under COVID protocols. But
Everybody healthy still, right? Everybody okay?
Everybody's healthy.
All right.
Everybody's tested. I know for me last year, when things, because I worked on about 3 projects last year towards the end of the year, like September, October, November, and December. I was working on films and a TV show, different projects, constant testing, constant. And that's
painful, right?
Well, early in the year, it was more up the nose, touching the brain a little bit there, like tickling the brain cavity. Those are painful. And then they got to do the other side. That's very interesting. I had that done a few times. And then as we've evolved in our knowledge, it became cough many times, and now swab the back of your throat and the cheeks. So that's been more of that. I'm hearing now that there's one where you can actually spit somewhere, and that could even test it. I'm like, okay, great technology. But I've probably been tested like 20 or 25 times. Yeah.
Can't imagine to have the swab like 20 times up your nose.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in Mexico recently, filming for 4 weeks, a project called Day Labor. Fantastic, amazingly fun film, great cast, amazing producers, and we got tested many times out there. Because you just had to be. Yeah. You have to be careful.
So
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, where is this project coming out? Also on Amazon?
Day Labor, I don't know when that's coming out. We just wrapped, so we're editing right now, and I'm sure we still have some ADR to do and whatever else. So that's still very brand new. But like, let's say I did a project in Utah in November, and we were being tested, and yet still someone got COVID. like someone came back and tested positive. So then we had to all be in quarantine for like a week in the
Wow.
hotel room as everybody's getting retested, come back, find out that the rest of us were okay, but the one person then had to be quarantined and, you know, he had to go home. And then we got back to film. I mean, it's a whole scary process there. I mean, that whole week we're just sitting around going, we have to wait, we have to see. And this is where we're at.
Yeah,
right
it put everything on hold. It can be very frustrating, and especially, you know, with production, you have to move on. There is a timing for everything. There's timing for each scene, for each day. Everything is planned out, and then all of a sudden somebody gets sick, and you really
Yeah.
have to stop, put
The
everything on hold.
schedule
Yeah.
is out the window, and everything's just put on hold. So for those 5 days that I was in quarantine with the rest of the cast in our hotel rooms by ourselves, I was just writing. I was just like, oh, well, let me make the most of it. I was just trying to finish up writing some scripts that I've had, projects that I want to get made eventually. So I try to make it as productive as possible. We were nervous. We were like, oh, I hope, you know, our tests keep coming back negative. You know, it was,
Yeah, it's
you know,
nerve-wracking.
it's where we're at right now. So, but hopefully maybe this year, 2021, you know, with vaccines and whatnot, maybe it'll be a little more easier.
So I want to ask you about Sangre Negra, and tell me about the favorite moments, because I know you pick, you know, your favorite scenes there. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Hey, always with the ladies, huh? How you doing, honey? Get lost.
Mais pour que tu te prends? Tu me parles pas comme ça?
Well, comment allez-vous? And pommes frites to you, too. Get the fuck out of here.
I have a lot of favorite moments. I mean, we've been working together for a few years now. You know, understand that Sangre Negra is unique in that we didn't rely on studios. We didn't rely on the normal way people usually receive money in order to film. We did it all out of pocket. We did it ourselves because we wanted to have the control, maintain the creativity ourselves, keep our storyline the way we wanted. And, you know, it took a little bit longer, but the end result is we got to tell the story we wanted. Antonio got to write the story he wanted. Frank, our director, got to direct the way he had envisioned. And the end result is what you see. And we've been getting, like you said, great feedback. But we've been at this for a few years now, just trying to put 8 episodes together. And it's not the easiest, but thank goodness for people like, you know, like Inga and Kareem, who are executive producers, who believed in us and they put money towards this. Stoney Jackson, who was also a contributor, Ricardo as well. I mean, we've had some great fortune. And we've done it the unconventional way, but here we are. You know what I mean? So it can be done if you really want to get it done.
Yes, and it's available on.
It's available on Tubi.
Okay.
We used to have a pilot episode up on Amazon. Now everything is all about Tubi, but that doesn't mean we're eventually one day, maybe even when this comes out, we may find it on Amazon. We may find it on other platforms. Who knows? Maybe a Hulu. We don't know. But as of right now, today, early February of 2021, you can see everything on Tubi.
On Tubi. Your story is right behind you on the wall. I see you there in the desert. I'm pretty sure those are fragments from the movie.
Memories. Yeah.
Memories.
I for those who know me, I'm saying this most for people that don't know me. I'm a major geek. I'm a proud nerd. I love superheroes. I love comic books. That's an Iron Man mask that someone gave me as a gift. So I had a birthday a few years back and they gave me that. And look at that. I'm so happy with that. You know, Venom, I collect comic books. I have a lot of great comic books that are valuable, first appearances of certain characters. And I'm just a big fan. This is a Heineken commercial that I did.
Oh, really?
I played a superhero. I played Robin to this guy's Batman, and what a dream to think that they cast me to play this Robin character.
Fantastic.
The costume was wonderful.
So let me ask you this: does the mask became handy on Halloween?
Oh yes. Well, we didn't have Halloween this year, but I got to wear it around my apartment and pretend I was trick or treating myself. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
I've worn the mask many times and just pretended to be Tony Stark. It's
Did
amazing.
you say hello to the neighbors?
Yeah, well, they know me by now. They see me in my superhero shirts. They see me with my mask that says Joker on it or whatnot. So a lot of fun. This project up here that you see it there, it says Bite. That was my college thesis film. It's a short film comedy. horror comedy about the time that my home got invaded
And
by
this is true
bedbugs.
story, right?
True story. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
A few years back, my neighbor was moving and he threw away some great furniture. And I saw people kind of picking up furniture and taking it home with them. And I saw this dresser and I went, oh, I could use a dresser. And it looked nice. And I picked it up, brought it into my apartment. 2 days later, I was with my girlfriend at the time. We woke up and just like in the movie, if you watch it, I woke up, I'm like this and she's like this and the sun is shining and it just bites all over us.
No way.
And I look on the bed and I remember in the movie, we dramatize it so you see many, but we saw like 2.
Hey, Tits.
2 crawling on the covers. And I was like, what is that? Because I've never seen a bed bug before.
Oh.
And so what happened in the movie is what happened in real life. We had to throw everything away. Tried so many different things. We hired pest exterminators, everything. They sprayed, they did everything. And we found a few dead. And then we kind of moved like the TV to the side to see what was behind it. And we found like 10 of them just hanging out and they crawled away. And I'm like, nothing worked. So we had to do what we did in the movie, was take the powder and just spray it everywhere. I mean, it was just like the movie. It was
wow, you can have
months.
nightmares from this.
It was my worst 2 months ever because she wound up breaking up with me, which is another story, which is very funny. And I had nowhere to go. So I was sleeping here with no furniture, with powder everywhere, except a little section that I vacuumed where I slept there because I threw away the bed too.
Unbelievable.
And slept there on a towel like this with powder all around me as I'm seeing these things crawling through it. And ultimately, when they ate the powder, they couldn't digest it and then they would suffocate and die.
So you wake up with all those dead bugs next to you?
Yeah, it was.
This is terrifying.
But I made it a comedy. I didn't want you to watch it and be like, ew.
Yeah.
I mean, there's ill moments, but there's mostly a lot of laughing. So you can,
I said, God damn!
And last but not least, this is one of my favorite films I've worked on here.
The Last Smile?
Called The Last Smile. Just a wonderful movie that I shot in and around San Francisco in the Oakland area a few years back, based on a true story of a very healthy young man in his early 20s who goes to the gym all the time and cares about his body, went and bought some over-the-counter supplements to, feel better, stronger, whatever, and went into a coma and died.
My son is dead. He is dead! Don't you understand? How do you suggest I get his permission, huh?
Okay, people, it's time to bring up the man you've been waiting for. The one, the only, the rock star. Put your hands together and make some noise for Drexel King!
This is our 10th successful year of championing healthy living. And I couldn't be prouder to announce the launch of our next generation weight loss product, Chymera Ultra!
My son was taking these pills.
What are these?
I don't get it. Why was he worried about weight loss?
Tell me what is going on.
I just want to know what happened to my son. That's all.
It contains a proprietary blend from the Kufa Research Labs.
The label can say supplement, but it should be classified as a drug, and there can be adulterants in here. You have no idea what's in them.
But you never told me. What do you do?
You mean, for a living? Sort of self-employed. haven't really figured it out yet.
His name is Enrico Fisher, small-time private investigator specializing in infidelity cases.
It's quick as a bullet. Sometimes you'll sit in bed and wake up and realize how fast everything is gone.
I couldn't save Amit. Maybe I can save someone else.
Are you listening to me? This is your passport to freedom. Take it.
We'll find out what he's after, because the last thing we need right now is a PR nightmare.
Wait, just like, hello? Hi, are you looking for someone?
They're the kind you don't mess around with. They'll think twice to spare a son of a bitch like you.
You are so naive. You have no idea who you're up against.
Mr. Fisher, one can easily start a fire. Putting it out is a different matter.
That's just one company. It's a whole system we must change.
Saving the life of one person isn't going to change the world, Mr. Rayner.
But for that person, the world changes.
And this is a true story.
True story. And then the father wanted to sue the health food industry because over-the-counter supplements are not regulated by the FDA. So that's what this movie is about. It's a love letter for the son who's no longer with us, explaining how dad went through this, and then my character was written. Is the only thing that's not true. My character is the detective whose job is to find out why and what happened and explain to the people what we can do in order to avoid things like this happening, because it happens quite a bit. People do get poisoned by taking these over-the-counter medicines. So great movie as well, The Last Smile, which is on Tubi, by the way, along with Sangre
It's also
Negra.
on Tubi. Great. So most of your movies are on Tubi.
Yeah, I found a good 5 or 6 of them on there. I was very surprised. I was like, wow, look at that. That was a nice surprise.
You won several Best Actor awards.
Yeah, I've over my many years, I've won 3, 4, I think 4 Best Actor awards, and then Bites, my comedy short, won like 5
comedy,
Best
right?
Comedy,
Yeah.
and then Best Sound, Best this, but so it's won like 10 awards as well too. So I've been very fortunate that I'm able to do what I love to do.
How did you stay in balance in 2020? because there's so much stress. We've been put under so much mental stress.
Yes.
Through the media, through the news, through everything, COVID, you can get out the house, you can go to the restaurant, you can hang out with your friends. How do you stay in balance?
I mean, meditation. I mean, there's just, that is the answer. I will also incorporate working out.
Okay.
But let's just stick with meditation for now. I mean, I meditate daily. I've not missed a day of meditation as of us recording this, middle of February now.
Yeah.
I have not missed a day in 5.5 years. I make it a point to wake up every morning before I start my day, and I meditate, whether it's 15 minutes, whether it's an hour, depending on my schedule, how I'm feeling. But this is something that I do, and it brings a balance to my life, to my thinking. It doesn't allow me to become a reactory person, which means, I'm reacting because I'm going to react. It makes me kind of go, oh, I'm going to think this through. Or you know what? It's not a big deal. I can handle it. It just puts a nice level here. It allows me just to proceed at an even way of thinking instead of being emotional.
You're right.
And sometimes being emotional could have you overreact and be angry or be insecure. It's just, that's just not what I do. And my meditation it just changed everything about me as a person. I mean, how many people do you know when they're driving their car and then someone cuts them off? They're like, oh my God, and they're just cussing and they're just angry. That's not that ever was me, but I guarantee you that'll never be me, because meditation has just taken that out of me. I'm just I'm very present, or I try to be as much as I can.
What's the secret to have a perfect abs? Because you do.
You have to keep doing abs, and you have to keep doing abs.
What about the diet?
I don't drink soda. Well, here's the thing. I like to eat, but I try not to overdo it. I like desserts. I definitely try not to overdo that. Like, you'll never see me buy a dessert and keep it in the apartment, because then I will eat it. So if I really want to have a dessert, I have to specifically go out and buy it and then bring it back.
I love it. I need one of those, seriously.
eBay for like 10 or 12 bucks.
This is great.
Just about to be easy to get, but yeah, isn't that wonderful? Yeah. I know that you're a fan of Joker.
Totally. Totally. I love Joker. I had the honor to interview the sound department from Joker, and
really?
it was amazing. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, that's thrilling to me, to hear behind the scenes stories of like, how was it like working on set, and tell me about it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all I want. I want to know everything. Like there's so much fun. You know how it is. You love movies. You love how it's being done. You love the people that you just want to know how they do it, that they bring it to this level.
I've had the good fortune, and as much as I am a geek and a nerd for comic books and I really do love that, hearing stories about movies, especially older movies, like for example, I'm a member of many different clubs and societies for movies and whatnot, and I get to meet, let's say like you did, the sound guy for Lawrence of Arabia, or this guy worked with Marlon Brando on this project. I'm like, tell me a story about it. This guy worked with Montgomery Clift. This woman worked with Steve McQueen. And I'm like, do you have any stories? Like, tell me. And that to me is just a thrill.
Yeah, it's priceless.
Well, you knew Alfred Hitchcock. What was that like? Tell me something, and so I really do enjoy that. That's just the movie lover in me. I love stories about Hollywood.
Yeah. So Danielle, a little bit more about your other favorite movies. Maybe you want to talk about it. There was few of them that I haven't seen it. And
No,
yeah, I will say, let's put it out there.
off the top of my head, my top 10 movies.
Mhm.
And anybody that happens to be watching, hey, these are some great films. My number one, and we said this earlier, my number one all-time favorite film is Godfather #1. Marlon Brando, Al Pacino, just unbelievable. Robert Duvall. Number 2 is Lawrence of Arabia. David Lean, Best Picture, 1962. Peter O'Toole's first movie. Omar Sharif. I mean, like Alec Guinness. Number 3, Amadeus. 1985
Yes,
Best
yes.
Picture. F. Murray Abraham won Best Actor. That movie is, I mean, they're all amazing. That movie, there's something so good about it. The life of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart and his nemesis Salieri. It's fantastic. Number 4 is All About Eve, which is a 1950 Best Picture with Anne Baxter and Bette Davis. Fantastic film. They both were nominated for Best Actress and probably canceled each other out because somebody else won that year when it should have been one of them. Great stories. Number 4 is Raging Bull, where Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, directed by Martin Scorsese, came out in 1980. It didn't even win Best Picture in 1980. Ordinary People did, with Donald Sutherland and Mary Tyler Moore. Yet, to this day, people are saying that Raging Bull is the superior film. In fact, what film society was it? AFI voted Raging Bull as the best film of the 1980s, and it didn't even win Best Picture. So it stood the test of time. It's an amazing film. Robert De Niro won Best Actor.
I think Robert De Niro is one of your favorite actors.
He is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in Raging Bull. He's in Godfather 2. He won an Oscar for that one. That one's on my list as well. But he's one of my favorites. But I have other favorites too that I admire as well. What else did I have? Casablanca is on my list, clearly. City Lights with
Let's see. I have your list.
City Lights with Charlie Chaplin
Uh-huh.
is one of my favorites. Oh my God, such a heartwarming movie. There's there's Das Boot, Wolfgang Peterson.
Das Boot.
Das Boot, yeah. The director's cut, fantastic. It takes place almost 90% of it inside a submarine.
Right.
Germans in a submarine during the 1940s during World War II.
And this is how they shot the whole movie. Isn't it amazing?
I mean, you feel like you're in there. You feel like you're just claustrophobic. You feel like it's such a good movie. It's such a good movie. Schindler's List, 1990.
And if you guys haven't seen it, you have to pull up and you have to watch those movies because this is not what do you see those days. You know, we have a Joker, we have amazing, but Schindler's List, Amadeus, this is completely different level of acting, directing, costumes, and history altogether.
Yeah, these are the reasons why these films won Best Picture. I mean, Das Boot didn't win Best Picture, but this is why these films stand the test of time, and you have people like a Spielberg,
and a true story,
like a Spielberg or David Lean directing. I mean, yeah. In that list as well, I have. This is a great movie, Mulholland Drive. Mulholland Drive is such a great film, and that's a film where when you watch it the first time, you're like, what did I just see? Like, my God, that is amazing that you have to then watch it again and go, oh, there it is. All the answers of the mysteries of what was going on was right in front of you the whole time. And it was brilliantly shot. I mean, couldn't recommend that one enough. I think that's 10 there. And then I have, in there like Godfather 2. I have like, romantic comedies like a Tootsie, Young Frankenstein, Superman the movie, Empire Strikes Back, Pulp Fiction, Rebel Without a Cause, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, we're talking some great, LA Confidential. I mean, we're talking some great films.
Back in the days, the Marilyn Monroe time and the Charlie Chaplin, we talked about it yesterday. If you could turn back the clock and be in those days, who would you like to meet? Like, who were you the most passionate about?
Wow. I mean,
Or
that's
work with?
so many. I can't help but look at an older film. And again, older films, let's stick to a time. Let's say from like, 1970 and back, it's golden era and whatnot. I mean, I watch certain movies and I go, man, to have been on that project. Like I never got to meet Marlon Brando. I never got to meet Peter O'Toole or Montgomery Clift, Marilyn Monroe. Obviously, she passed away in the 60s. But I mean, James Dean. I mean, these are all tremendously great people that I watch their movies and I go, wow, to actually have been working on that. I mean, can you imagine Peter O'Toole, for example? One of my favorite movies, second all-time favorite film behind The Godfather, which is number one, is Lawrence of Arabia. That was his first movie. He worked on that movie for 2 years. Can you imagine your first ever film? You're the main lead guy, though he wasn't credited as the lead guy. He was credited as and introducing Peter O'Toole as, he didn't win an Oscar for that year. I think Albert Finney won for, I'm not sure. I think Albert Finney won, but I don't know how he didn't win because he was absolutely amazing in that. So he asked me certain people who I'd love to meet. I mean, all these great actors, or to have been a part of those productions. Can you imagine that years later, 50 years later, people are still watching, still talking about?
Those are the type of movies like, like we talk about Pretty Woman. People are going to watch it 20 years from now. Godfather, they're going to watch it 100 years from now. It just never gets old.
All the Kubrick films, 2001 Space Odyssey, Clockwork Orange. I mean, these are timeless. They're just never. Casablanca. I mean, what are we, 80 years?
Yeah.
And it's still considered one of the top 5 greatest films of all time. Citizen Kane, I think, is still always ranked number one. People rank that one number one. At least the Film Society has ranked that one as number one. I love it. My number one, though, is Godfather. We spoke yesterday because we were figuring out when we were going to interview and whatnot. I find you to be very impressive because of the job that you do during the day, which I don't know if too many people know about. Can you tell us, now I'm interviewing you, can you tell us a little bit about the job that you do, which, by the way, I find to be extremely impressive, beyond necessary, and I thank you for the time and what you've done and probably the lives that you have saved. Tell us about what you do, now that I've built you up so much.
No, thank you, Danny. Well, my job, it's, I don't call it a job, it's a dedication that comes home with the paycheck, luckily, right? But I pursue my grandma's kind of roots. My grandma was a nurse, and she took care of, the town. Back in the days in Poland, I first assist the surgeons. So what do we do?
You go there and you actually take the scalpel and you actually do the cutting and opening up of the body?
I don't do the body cutting, but I do a lot of other things. I hold the retractors, I clamp. If he wants me to cut something, then I cut it for him. I can cut the sutures, whatever I can sew,
Oh my goodness.
We have a lot of skills, but then it's up from one state to the other. What are you allowed to do? And we're looking forward to watch upcoming episode for Sangre Negra.
Yes. Sangre Negra is on Tubi. We have, as of right now, the first 4 episodes. Tubi, it's Tubi, an app that you can download on your TV, phone, on your iPad. So check that out. And if you happen to check out Sangre Negra on Tubi and you see my name there, you'll probably find 4 or 5 other of my projects if you want to see, say The Last Smile. Oh, and as far as films that I have coming out, look out for in 2021, Day Labor, Burn Rider, Switch That Love is a romantic comedy I did. Nobody's Angels, which is an action film that I did that's coming out this year, and Adolescents of Chymera, which is a film that I have one of the lead roles and I'm a producer on as well.
You guys can check it out and make sure to follow Danny on Instagram as well as maybe other social media. My social media for Instagram is very simple. It's Mr. Danny Arroyo, MrDanny Arroyo, Arroyo.
I'm sure you'll have it probably listed there
It's
so that someone
right
just
there.
click on it.
Click
Yeah.
right there, subscribe right here. This interview you can watch on Roku TV, Red Carpet of Hollywood. And of course, stay tuned for our next interviews with Danny's partners from Sangre Negra movie.
Yes, Antonio
we're very
McKay and Ricardo
excited.
Herranz.
So it will be next. Definitely check into Roku Red Carpet of Hollywood. Danny, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Pleasure was mine. I enjoyed this thoroughly. I thank you for allowing me to go down movie memory lane and thinking about our great favorite films, and that was a lot of fun.
We're gonna have many, many more. You want to do the interview with me?
I'm sure she... Are you back?
I love it.